Hi, my name is Adrian, and today we're going to install a CTS intake and turbo inlet on my 2017 MK7 Golf R. So first step is you're going to remove, oh shit, you're going to want to remove this stuff here, okay? So there's a vac line here that runs your intake runner flaps. So you're just gonna remove that. And then this is actually, it's pressed in here. You can see there's one there, and it's hard to see, but there's one back there as well. So you're gonna remove this box. So there's a clamp here. I'm just gonna move that back there like that. And this should just come off kind of like that. Set that out of the way. And then get this freed up. And you can kind of just tug on that. Tug on this one. And it kind of pops out just like that, right? So now you got that out of the way. Once you have this box removed, you're basically just gonna wanna remove this pipe. There's a hose clamp at the back here. That should be a 7 mil. And I just have a electric ratchet. I'm just gonna go like this. And comes off, don't lose the hose clamp. There it is. So now you got that, right? And you can put that over here, the rest of it. So now you basically, this is your turbo inlet. That's what I'm also upgrading. So there's a hosing here. I'm pretty sure that runs to your PCV. Pretty sure. But that you need a pick, and pretty sure this guy is just, there's a little Torx. You can kind of see it right there. It's hard to see, but it's right there. I think it's a T40 or T30. So I'll come back when I'm done that. All right, so I want to remove this quickly. Yeah, so that hose there, it runs back into your PCV. So now, it just comes off. You got lucky with mine. Sometimes they're a hassle, but mine just kind of popped off. So you kind of want to get that out of the way. Try not to break it. So get that out of the way, and now you have access to that. I think it's a T30. Oh, I'm just gonna get an extension. So get yourself an extension, and oh, yep. So you're just gonna loosen that off. Don't drop the bolt down there. That would suck. Just loosen it off. It's cold out. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So you get that bolt out. Yeah. And now you can kind of see it's loose. This whole piece, it just kind of rotates like that and comes off. So now you got this piece off. I have some oil in there. And while you're here, you can kind of come in here and just check the play with your turbo. I have a little bit of play, but it's not bad. This is the CTS Turbo inlet pipe. I got it on a really good deal. I bought it used. This is actually off a GTI, MK7 GTI, but they all work the same. I'm just gonna give it a quick clean. Maybe I'll lube that up, but all good. The other thing too I forgot to say is you really want to make sure that, I didn't cover it because I'm a fucking savage, but you want to make sure that when you're doing this stuff, if you have it exposed to the elements for a long time or whatever the case is, you block off, your turbo, because you don't want any kind of debris or anything that kind of gets in there. But yeah, rotating it in, make sure it's kind of sealed everywhere. And then you basically line up that bolt and tighten it. I'm just gonna start it off by hand so I don't strip anything out. Just come here like this. Oh, you know what helps, guys? If you take your ratchet,
put it on the right side.
Put it on clockwise to tighten.
I was like, is it on the right side?
That helps a lot if you do that. And you'll see it starts to pull in. And once you just maybe give it its last rites, obviously it doesn't have to be freaking crazy tight, but just, you know, sure. And you'll feel it feels solid. And then what you can do, take this guy, you'll feel that click on as well. Now turbo inlet is in, and you can kind of do the road map and route out your intake. What I'm gonna do here, as it's used, sorry, comes in light, it's used, so I'm just gonna get a quick shine so it looks good in the engine bay. But yeah. Okay, so this is the box it kind of sits in. I watched a lot of videos before I did it. Kind of done this before, but I bought this used. So it was off a GTI or Mark 7 GTI, and the GTIs basically have a secondary air injection system. Your Golf R, it doesn't have, it almost looks like a vacuum hose that goes to the stock box. And what you'll end up doing with the GTI is you'll hook this guy up. So what I need to do is figure out how I'm gonna route this out, because it doesn't need this now, but it has, remember that vac line I pointed out? It has this guy, and that basically needs to run off fresh air. So I'm thinking this guy cap this off, and you can kind of just simply run it on there like that. That would make the most sense to me. And then when it kind of sits in here, eventually when it's done, you know, everything will kind of reach. So that's, I'll let you guys know what I figure out, but yeah. Just take your coupler, the hose clamp on it, put that a different way, like here, so it's easy to get to, kind of like that. Orient this the way you want it. So, right, and then you just basically tighten that up and put the intake on. Make sure it's kind of good everywhere, and just get your whatever you have. Now you know you're good. Sweet. These guys are kind of hard to get in, so what I like to do is I usually have a brush, but you can just kind of fucking take your finger. Just kind of put some lube on it so it slides in better, if you know what I mean. Okay, so you're basically just gonna want to fuck it. I'm just kidding. You're just gonna want to kind of find the spot, and then you can push down and you'll feel it. You'll feel it go. You know what I mean? So it's in now. And it doesn't look too bad. It leads right into that inlet, which is pretty freaking sweet. So now you're basically just gonna want to take your pipe, stick it in there, hose clamp it on, right? And then I'm gonna run that but the vac line into this fitting. And then I'm pretty sure the way this should sit, it kind of lines up with a bolt hole down there. It's kind of lining up with a bolt hole right there. And what I'm gonna do, because my kit's used, so whatever, I had the bolt, but I'm just gonna use a washer to kind of displace the force or the clamping force. So yeah, you know what you hear, guys? Go like that, put the bolt in, And because this has an open notch on it like that, right here, once it's in, you can kind of put this guy back in here. And now you can kind of pick where it works best for you to put it. Kind of like that. Now you're kind of in where you need to be. And then you just tighten that bolt up. I really want to make sure that this guy is sitting. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so it's in. It's in good. The only thing I would say for you Golf R guys is, again, there's this piece, right? And everybody, I seen one guy, he cut out a sponge, put in there, blocked it off, and then connected the vacuum line there so that it sucks in air and it runs his intake runner flaps. What I did, because this guy had it capped off, there's basically a little port. You can see it just down there. There's a little port that you can connect into for fresh air. So I just rerouted that vac line, because when you try to go around everything, it really stretches that line and kinks it. But if you kind of run it through here and, you know, try to avoid the high pressure line, whatever. But once you get it in, you're good. And after you did it, it's honestly not a bad install. I'd say it probably took me 20 to 30 minutes. It's not bad. This sits a little bit weird, but I just have OCD with my shit. But let's fire it up and see how it sounds. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. I'm really happy with it. It makes those cool whooshing sounds. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. Easy install, you know. I just bought this car in November and this is kind of my first modification. So yeah, stay tuned and there's plenty more to come.